All right.
Opening statement then, Zach.
Yep. Well, felt a little bit like Groundhog Day, to be honest with you. Like FIU, dominate the game, not reflective in the scoreboard, not happy with the way the offense played in the second half of FIU and in the red area in this game, and the fans left at halftime. It all felt like Groundhog Day to me. Never going to apologize for a win. They're too hard to get. Same team that should have beat South Carolina last year in the opener. Really dominated the game. Not reflected in the score. I mean, we probably left 35 points out there on offense with 6 possessions inside the 10, primarily the goal line offense and 5 in. Dropped a touchdown pass, overthrew a touchdown pass, fumbled going in. And had the game in total control. It was just a matter of what the score would be. And, really expected a 45-52-7 type game at that point. And we didn't do it on offense. I mean, we won the time of possession 41.5 to 18.5. First downs 30-10. Had 310 yards rushing. Won the turnover battle 3-1. Ended the half, beginning of the third, won 14-0. Good on third down, punt return for touchdown. 2 bad plays on defense. First play of the game was a dirty read for our linebacker. It was a outside zone read. We're not going to block the weak side defensive tackle. The guard blocked him, which meant it looked like outside zone, then came off late. And so the linebacker went. Quarterback pulled the ball. There was nobody left. But the last third down and 1 should never have. That's just an egregious missed assignment by the field end, who's got the quarterback and took the dive. So got to make the plays on offense. Got to get better, period, all the way around. Got to get better. And we should get much better this week. Now, team we're going to play, Kennesaw State. Lost by 1 point to a Power 4 opponent last week. Brand new coach. High tempo offense. They can go at warp speed and they can slow it down. Defense, guys run around good. Held Wake Forest 9 points. I mean, they missed an extra point and a field goal. Lost 10-9. So we got to be ready to go. They beat Liberty last year when Liberty was undefeated. Their first team beat Liberty, the old staff. So, looking for improvement. Questions?
Curt, you talk about just sort of like you compared it a little bit to Florida International last year. Maybe this is almost a philosophical question, not just specific to ODU. But as a coach, how do you approach sort of digesting with your team a game where maybe the underlying numbers say the score should have been different, but you can point to some good things in the performances. You can also point to some learning experiences, some things that need to improve, especially in week 1 when things are going to be a little rusty.
I told the team in the locker room that wins are hard. Enjoy it, but not pleased with the way we played. With you guys, I put the game in perspective. With the team, the focus will be on what we put on tape and what we got to do to improve. So, not pleased. I can't imagine anybody on the team is pleased, and we got to get better.
Well, yeah, you mentioned some of the red zone struggles, and Fernando talked about kind of a couple throws he missed. But when you watched the tape, what were your kind of biggest takeaways? Maybe especially in the run game when you got at the one.
The first one you get down there, you got 1st and 1 at the 1. They jumped into a different front than they had shown the previous year, but still, you got to be able to gain a yard. We had a running back take the wrong footwork and the wrong course one time. We had a missed assignment up front one time, and then 2 poor blocks, and then on the 4th down pass, didn't make the right read. And then got down there again and had 2 more missed assignments in the run game. I had to settle for a field goal. Then we scored 2 touchdowns. Then we're really running the ball really well. We're up 27-7. And, they were running the clock in the second quarter. End of the second quarter, they're milking the clock. I mean, they were tired. They were gassed on defense. And, we threw a pass on 2nd and 6, and it was incomplete, put us in a 3rd and 6. And didn't make a great call on 3rd and 6. And then the last series, I thought that was pass interference on Surratt. They didn't call it. Sometimes the officials, feel like the game's over. They just want to get home. You got to call, still got to call them. Drop a touchdown pass, overthrow a touchdown pass, wide open, and fumble going in. So, really, you could build a case that there's 55 points minimum. I guess the difference between FIU and that game was we were much more consistent for 90 yards or 93 yards than we were last year. Last year we led the country in red area touchdown percentage. So, but we got to get better. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. Got to get better now. So, that's that.
Matt, you right to Zach B.
Coach, after going back and getting a chance to watch the film, what did you like most about what Fernando did on Saturday? And then I know you kind of talked about the processing, but anything else you noticed that maybe he needs to work on?
Yeah, did some good things, left some things out there. The emphasis with him's been on his processing and decision making, and you grade the quarterback based on his decision making and accuracy. Is he going through the right reads, throwing the ball to the right guy and accurately? So he's made progress since he's been here, but he's still got to get better.
Zach B.
Coach, you talked about the fact that you guys aren't happy with how you played. Why don't you think that you guys played to your standard? Where did those misreads,
Missed assignments, and guys not doing their job, and every once in a while they line up in a different defense than you thought they would. So, got to make the plays.
Peter, on your left to Sammy.
Coach, with Drew Evans, him coming back, how would you assess the way he played?
Solid. He's going to give you a great effort. He's going to finish, give you everything he's got. He's a really smart player. And, having him back is a real plus. I thought our offensive line and tight ends did a nice job. Our running backs, our receivers, most of the day blocked well. It was a game where, they were called on to block safeties. And really, overall, I thought we did a great job penalty-wise. I think we had 3. The one call on the interception was not a good call on our number 12, Boykin. So we had a false start, and then we got a running into the punter, which, Isaiah Jones says he got his hand on the ball. So from that turnover ratio and penalties, 2 things you talk a lot about in an opener. We did a great job. And all of our special teams goals we accomplished. This game really came down to what happened inside the 6-yard line and 2 plays on defense. Other than 2 plays on defense, you hold them to 160 yards. But it's a win. It's a 2-score win. But we left a lot out there. And it's good that we've gotten to the point where people's expectations are such that they're not happy with just wins. But at the end of the day, they all count as one win.
Sammy, on your left to Joe.
Coach, with special teams, you had the big punt return. A punt was blocked, it looked like on TV. But Brendan Frankie is the long field goal guy, and then Quinn Warren stepped in a big spot and hit one inside the 3. Can you just talk about where you're going to use Frankie and the punting situation?
Yeah, we feel like Quinn is a really good prospect. And Quinn stepped in, our punter had a little issue and wasn't available at that time. And Frankie is the long field goal guy. He's drilled them in practice. He hadn't missed one in practice. Now, he's only kicked about 4 or 5 because we'll practice, a long field goal, 56, 58 yards. This one was 52, but into the wind, and he hit the crossbar. So that's where that's at.
Joe and Daniel.
You mentioned how you can't imagine anybody was really pleased from this win. When you had that talk with your team in the locker room, what was kind of the immediate after effect, kind of the reaction they had when you're talking
I think
about
they understood. Look, we had them where we wanted them. We just had to put the fork in them, and we didn't. So I don't wait around for their reaction. I'm the critiquer.
Game's on front to Seth.
You've been high on Amari for a while. Where have you kind of seen him, evolve the last year and a half? And then you had him at Rover for the first half last year. Why did you move him back?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's a guy that has not redshirted. So, he played as a freshman and started the whole season as a true sophomore. And we moved him back to strong safety because he's a really smart, instinctive player, and there's a lot of communication involved there. And it gave us the ability to put our best 5 on the field. So he's a really good football player that I think the sky's the limit. And, he'll get out what he puts in. He could be an outstanding football player. I've seen him really mature and grow up.
Seth in front, then Will.
A couple things for you. First, quickly, injury updates. You mentioned McCarthy got banged up, and also Bryson Bonds and Byron Baldwin. Just where are all those guys at, and if did anybody else come out of the game with anything?
Yeah, Bonds unfortunately has a knee injury and will miss the rest of the season. Baldwin is more day to day.
Will, upper right.
A little bit about it in your opening statement about the crowd. Disregarding the second half, what was your initial reaction to seeing the full crowd and a parachuting bison
I thought the
mascot during
students
the
were awesome. They bought extra tickets and they were loud. The place was rocking. We didn't see the bison come in. I heard it was spectacular, big time, and the crowd was rocking. And we needed to give them more to cheer about.
Colin on your right, last one.
Turning the page to Kennesaw State, what are your early impressions of them, and what kind of challenges can they give you on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, like I said at the beginning, the offense can go really, really fast at warp speed. They'll change the tempos. Athletic quarterback that spent some time here, senior. They've got a lot of older guys in general on their football team in starting roles. Receiver number 1's a really good player. Running back is a really good player too. So they're going to use the field, and the biggest adjustment will be when they do go warp speed, getting the calls in, getting lined up, that kind of thing, and keeping the quarterback contained. And defensively, I'm impressed. I mean, they're fundamental. They're well coached. They're in the right place. They run around good. They tackle. They're tough. Guys done a nice job there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.